Okay. Why is this crooked? Bruh, what is this? I'm back. We still have no viewers. Why is this hanging? What is this? Okay, now we're just waiting on viewers. It is hot. It's hot. We're still waiting on viewers. There's no viewers yet. There's still no viewers. Still waiting on viewers. Okay, there are no viewers currently. Still, okay, we have one viewer. Yes, I'm back. I had to take a phone call. Yes. Sorry about that, y'all. We're back. We are back. Can y'all hear me okay now? It's asking, how do you wash your clothes? So, I have an old-timey washing machine. I've done that before. Usually I take my clothes to my grandma's house currently, but I'm about to get another antique washing machine. And I'm going to use that one like every day to wash my clothes. It's made of copper and stuff. But yeah, no, I had to take a phone call. That's why it muted my phone, because somebody was calling me. And so it cut the sound. We have 8 viewers currently. Is it like buffering or is it good? Hello. We have 16 viewers now. I'm still making those cookies, by the way. But yeah. Okay, good. It's good. Looks great. But yeah. Okay, great. So it's clear. Hi. Somebody says hello from New Zealand. Hi. Where is Old Zealand? Just kidding. Hello. Yes. Where you find all your old-timey clothes? So sometimes I'll make them. This one I got at a thrift store in Mineral Wells, Texas. This hat I just bought a new one. This is my 3rd one I've ever had. My old one was starting to get old, and it just didn't look as good as this one. So I ordered a new one, and it says Dr. Parkinson in the back, but I have my hat pinned, and I don't want to adjust it and all that stuff. So YouTube let you go live. Yeah, I can always go live on YouTube. It's TikTok that is butt cheese from outer space. So with TikTok, my first account was banned for age verification when I was 22 years old, July 4th of 2022, at 880,000 followers, did I mention. And I had to start from square one because they banned me with my email and phone number. So I made a Google Voice phone number, and I created a new email. I made the TikTok account I currently have, and I worked my way up to 1.2 million followers on TikTok. And anyway, I was with TikTok for a long time. I still am with TikTok, but they aren't paying very well at all. They used to average 3 to 4K a month. Now, this month, they've only paid me $317, which is not enough to get by on. So now I've come to YouTube. And YouTube is already treating me very nice because I've only been posting consistently since like November 28th or so, and I've already accumulated like 1.7K in revenue. What is going on in here? What are we doing? What is my oven doing? Why are you popping? But yeah, so that's that. And then with these funds, I can live and make better content. Yeah, I know. I've come to the dark side. Hi again, Leon. I love when you dance to Charleston. I should send you a video of me dancing to Charleston. To love dancing to Tonight's My Night with her. Yes, that's a very good song. What is mentally wrong with you? Nothing. I'm just living my life, doing what I want, when I want, how I want. What is wrong with you? Because you have a problem with me just doing what I want, and I'm not even harming you in any way. I'm just doing what I do. And you're here wasting your time. You don't like it. It's like somebody's making you watch me. And here I am being successful in life, doing what I want. And then there you are wasting your time being a grown adult, acting like a fool, being immature, trying to judge me when I'm doing just what I want, when I want, how I want. Why can't you? Anyway. And now you look like a fool. What are the blue bottles? They are cobalt glass. So one of my fans gave it to me. It's like a condiment set. So one of them holds salt, one of them holds pepper, one of them holds sugar, and all that stuff. But yeah, no, I'm literally just here doing what I want. I mean, I don't even really. I just post because it brings some of y'all joy, but this is my life. This is like really real. This is me. I love your eyes. Thank you. Great to see you live. Yes. I know, most people think because they're behind a screen they can say whatever they want, but then again, so can I. Your best purchase? Probably my vehicles. Anyway, let's see. The person commenting just wants attention anyway. Okay, no filter for you. I'll call you out. That's who I'm talking about, by the way. If y'all want to blast him. Wow, I'm evil. I like it. Who built your organ? It's a Kimball, W.W. Kimball. But yeah, thank you for the tip. Yes, that's nice. I'm gonna try to go live more often. But yeah, I'm gonna. If you don't mind me asking, can you sing? I can. I'll go do it right now. Hang on. I have songs on iTunes, by the way. Original songs. Like the one that goes, if you should ever leave me in the pale moonlight, dear my dear mine. That one, I wrote that. Are these cookies done yet? And why am I standing? Oh my god, I almost unplugged this charger. What am I doing? Okay. I almost lost my train of thought. Choo-choo. Ow! Okay, I need to turn down the heat in this oven. Okay. We're good. Okay, now I'm going to go sing. As a mechanic, I was super impressed that you changed your connecting rods and piston rings in your model. Yes. Yes, So, I did do that, but with the plans of opening it up again, because I still have to balance the crankshaft and all that stuff, so, coming soon. Parker is making cookies. Asbestos, he can't. There's actually, I know there was a joke, but there really is asbestos in this range. It's all under, I'll show y'all, hang on. Bear with me. It's probably going to be really dark down here, but I'm going to try my best to show y'all. Maybe if I can lower my tripod. You know what? I do have a flashlight. Let me get that. I need a longer charging cord that could go around the whole house because I'm having to plug in my phone right now. Kind of like a home phone. E.T. home phone. I mean, phone. Just kidding. Let me move all this crud in here. So, this range being from 1917, and it's all original, except for some of the burner elements. I just unplugged my phone, oh my gosh. Except for some of the burner elements. Why? Why are you being a stupid? Okay. Anyway, what was I saying? ADD. Except for some of the burner elements. Let me unclip this, and then there's one over here. There we go. Okay, let me get my flashlight. So the asbestos is the white stuff that's right back there around that burner. And then that's asbestos right there. Why is this flickering? Oh, bad flashlight. That white stuff up there is asbestos. That's ceramic back there, but that one is cupped in asbestos right there. Anyway, but I don't mess with it, so it doesn't mess with me. And also, the dangerous kind of asbestos is the chrysolite, and there was one more form of it that's dangerous. Can this close? Dadgummit. Let me just drop that. Close! Urgh. Do you know how difficult you are being right now? Why am I talking to my stove? God. Okay. Now I gotta clean up this mess. So, the way asbestos gets you is some people think it'll get you by looking at it, just like the lead paint people and everything. But that's not how it gets you. You have to breathe in the. Oh, look, there's some dust. Okay, I'm gonna pretend that's not there. You have to breathe in the dust over time, and basically what it does is the fibers in there, the dust is microscopic hook-shaped fibers. You breathe it in into your lungs, and they hook to your lungs on the inside, and they scar your lungs up and stuff. And then over the years, all that scarring becomes mesothelioma or cancer. And that's how it gets you. But anyway, it takes like 20 to 40 years to get you. Anyway, oh my God, I just knocked over my tripod almost. But that's how it gets you. Now, for the lead paint gets you when you eat it. Like, who eats paint besides babies? So that's how it gets you. But also, I figured out lead blocks you from radiation, like 5G and stuff. And so, I mean, I've heard, let's go into conspiracy theories for a minute. I have heard that people can map out your house through Wi-Fi signals and stuff like that. Imagine if you had lead paint on your walls, like lead that blocks X-rays and radiation. Then it wouldn't work so well because there's lead in the way blocking the signal. So I wonder sometimes, but I'm not starting conspiracy. Okay, maybe I am, but you know, that's kind of coincidental. I need to check my cookies. Oh, I'm burning my cookies. Let me not do that. Let me not burn these cookies. Give me my scraper. There it is. I need a plate too. I just find it coincidental that lead blocks radiation and now it's banned. In paint. You can make lead paint fairly easy. All you gotta do is get lead carbonate and some linseed oil and turpentine, and you can make it. Wow, I did burn these cookies. Oh, they're not too burned. Flip over. Ooh, they're soft. Ow, they're hot! Okay. I'm scooping these cookies out of here. Pardon me while I do this. You know, I should probably be showing y'all this, but I bet my phone is blurry. I guess I need to make some more. Okay, let me flip this. I have chocolate on my finger. I need to raise this tripod. I also need to plug in my phone. But I'll do that in a minute, after I trip over the tripod. Okay. Get me some more cookies. Oh, I almost dropped all these. Okay, let's put this over here. Yes, perfect. Now, we'll get some more cookie dough and bake some more cookies. And close this so the oven will maintain its temperature. Because, I mean, it's kind of important to have a hot oven. Why did that just... Ow, 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 ow. Okay. Okay, putting these in the oven. Okay, now we'll make those cookies. Here's the other cookies I just made. They're nice and soft. Ow, and they're hot. Here, let me break one so y'all can see how soft they are. Ooh, those are good. Somebody better hide all these from me or I'm gonna eat them. Okay, y'all want to see something interesting? Well, kind of interesting. Not really that interesting. I mean, I guess it's interesting. I don't know. Y'all want to see it? You play video games? Sometimes I like Minecraft and I like Layers of Fear and games on Steam. Do you write with vintage fountain pens? So I have a few quill pens and I've made my own calligraphy ink before. That clock ticking never gets annoying. Yes, I have 3 clocks in here. There's one over here that one doesn't keep time the best. There's one in there that's my calendar clock, so I know what day of the week it is. And then there's one in there that chimes every 15 minutes in my bedroom while I'm sleeping. But I've gotten used to it. I hear footsteps in my attic. Ah, okay. That's nice. My apartment is haunted. That door back there opens sometimes when I talk about ghosts and stuff. Anyway, but, you know, there are some people that just won't have anything to do with spirits and don't believe you when you talk about them and stuff. I know for a fact, but y'all are free to y'all's own opinions. But I know 100% it is haunted here, and I have, like, seen stuff that just proves it. But anyway, I mean, yeah, no, it could very well. So when I first moved here, I had heard that this apartment up here was haunted, which doesn't make sense a whole lot because nobody died here. But when I first got here, I was like, I love ghost hunting. So I went to that door. I stood right there and I said, if there are any spirits here, will you please open this door? And 2 seconds after I say that, with the camera rolling, I got this on video. There is a video of this. The door clicks open, and then, of course, my sister-in-law knocks at my front door, so I cut the video like a fool. I should have kept the video going so you could see that closet was full of junk, and there was nobody in there and no strings. But I broke the video down into 2 parts because of that knocking at my door. I had to pause the video. But then I called my dad and I was telling him on FaceTime how this apartment is haunted and what happened. I walked into my bedroom back here. I came back in here and that door over there was open just a hair, like about this much. And it's only done that twice. And it's only when I've talked about the ghosts here. But yeah, no, and you know, humans only know 1% of what there is to know in life. And then you have the non-believers of ghosts. But try this. Mention a Ouija board to them and say, okay, then would you do a Ouija board? And then they automatically say, oh, no, no, no. And it's like, I thought you didn't believe in ghosts. And then what is the Holy Trinity? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit? Spirit? Anyway, or ghost, a Holy Ghost. So, I mean, there's more evidence that there is spirits than there isn't. So, anyway. But yeah, I like your suit. Thank you. I do have a Ouija board. I have 3 of them. I have one from the 1920s. I have a reproduction of one that's like an old one. And then I have one that I bought at Toys R Us one time. Didn't you have something interesting to show us? Yeah, I was asking if y'all wanted me to show you the interesting thing. Yes, it's called a Ouija board, but it's spelled Ouija. They say that a spirit named the board. I don't know. Maybe. But, so y'all do want to see the interesting thing. Here, let's play Ouija board. It works best with other people. So I bought this at an antique store. This is what I was going to show y'all. It's an old photo album. And so I'm going to make it like my own photo album. So it's from like the 1800s, early 1900s. And it says album right there. And then I've already started. So there's my first picture I've put in it. And then I had some white out because I'm going to cover the name on that and put my name. And then I have all of these places left. So I'm thinking either I'm going to have it be all me or I'm going to put family and friends in. What do y'all think? Should I do family and friends or should I do just me and all the places I go and stuff? You would love the Crescent Hotel and Eureka Springs. You want to know something crazy? This right on time. Okay, so look at this. One of my fans and one of my bio grandma's friends just dropped this off today on my porch. This is like, so nothing is coincidence. They just dropped this off. It says Eureka Springs. And then she left this note with it and stuff. No, like, nothing is coincidence. See how that person just said that? Um, but no. She was like, you would love Eureka Springs. So it literally says in this, you will be at home in this town, Eureka Springs, Arkansas, located in northwest Arkansas, named Little Switzerland. Victorian homes everywhere. I lived there for 4 years, loved it. Um, but like nothing is coincidence. Somebody said Eureka Springs, and then that clock just chimed to confirm it. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, but yeah. Um, that's the kind of crazy stuff that happens here. See, and y'all have heard me mention before that clock chimes to confirm things. But also that clock is off time. That's the only one that doesn't keep time, but it always chimes to confirm stuff. Anyway. But yeah. Parker, speaking of your photo albums, I need to do that. I really need to sell my autographed pictures. I have not. I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Or with its head cut off. Huh? With its head cut off. How's the fundraising for you purchase your building, your museum? So I found a museum house. They want $309,000 for it. I've raised $20,000 in the GoFundMe. And I put like every month I make some money, so I put a little bit towards it at a time. I can't really apply for a loan because I don't have any credit, so I've never had a credit card, so I don't have any credit. So I can't apply for a loan. So and then I don't really have proof of income. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, great. Yeah, I closed the app and reopened it. I am so tired of this. Like, can we actually make technology that works for once? Anyway, yeah, I closed YouTube and reopened it. So, because some idiot tried to call me. Spamela. Anyway, but yeah, I don't even remember what I was saying. That was not the ghost. That wasn't funny either. I guess I need to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. Yes. Check the cookies. They're not done yet. But I'll check them. They're almost done. Cookies. No, I'm not trying to open a power plant. I've already sent electricity wirelessly 918.6 miles to Chicago, Illinois from Carrollton, Texas. And then we're always going to get the people that say, you didn't really do that, blah, blah, blah. But then again, they don't go and watch my videos because you could literally like prove it to yourself by watching my videos. Science isn't about he said, she said. It's about fact. It's about using the scientific method. Hypothesis, performing the experiment to prove or disprove your hypothesis and coming up with a conclusion. Did it work or did it not work? Not about, I don't think that'll work. It can't work. It's not possible. Anyway, somebody said, hi, China. She's not here. She's at my dad's house. What do you think about modern scientists, though? Okay, well, I'll tell you this. What has been new and novel since the Industrial Revolution, which was between the 1700s and early 1900s? Like, what has been new and novel? Like, what's the greatest invention since the technology that was invented back then? Because, for example, with our phones, we use Tesla's wireless technology that he invented in the 1890s. To see, we use light bulbs, which were invented in the 1870s. What else? To cook and stuff, we use electric stoves and stuff. But like everything, somebody said smartphone, but they don't realize that the things to get the smartphone were invented back then. Like I'm saying, wireless electricity was back then. What I'm trying to say is all the basis for all this stuff was back then. If that makes sense. Surgery started back then. They've gotten better at it, but like it didn't start back then, but they were doing it back then. Hence why the Waverly Hills Sanitarium existed. But yeah. I'm not wrong, because what has been like a drastic new invention since back then that we don't use some part of that's entirely new? You know what I mean? Like, what's been novel since the light bulb or the phonograph or the record or wireless technology? Or it was all back then. Like, nobody does that anymore. And we don't even build stuff to last anymore. Like, we're regressing, basically. Because, like, for example, refrigerators of today, they'll last you maybe 5 years. Here's mine, and it's almost 100 years old. It's from 1934, and it's all original. The refrigerant may be tear gas, sulfur dioxide, but it still works. And it's going on 100 years old. That's what I mean. And I mean, then people are like, why do you like that stuff? I don't know. Maybe because people were smarter back then. And that's like the greatest eras of technology, because we don't even have, like, anything we have today is got its roots from back then, pretty much. And I'm saying wireless electricity because Tesla was experimenting with that. And then here we have Wi-Fi. Tesla is also the father of radio, but Marconi used 7 of Nikola Tesla's patents and beat Tesla at his own invention to building it. He got the blueprints from Tesla. So in a court case in 1943, they declared Tesla the actual father of radio, but nobody ever talks about that. Tesla died penniless in a New Yorker hotel room, trying to change the world. And really, nothing has changed. It's always the same. So geniuses die penniless still, because nothing has changed. The world is the exact same. They've had an instantaneous gas water heater. Have you heard of a Rudd water heater from like 1904 or a little bit after? It's on-demand hot water. What they did is they took the coils of the like that the water passes through, put it directly above the gas burner, but there's like probably like 600 or so feet of coil in there, maybe less, but maybe like 100 or something. But it coils up above this burner, and then there's a thing that when the water starts flowing, it opens up the gas valve and the gas flame goes bigger. The pilot light is always on in there. If you've watched my video on my Rudd antique water heater, you would know this. But when the water starts flowing, it opens up the valve and makes the flame get bigger, and it heats up the water to like 120 degrees, and it's instantaneous because the coil loops so many times right above the flame. So that's not new either. Edison is not the best inventor. Way to try to get me to respond to your comment. It kind of worked. Edison was a thief. You know, he publicly electrocuted animals to smear Tesla's name because Edison was petty and he wanted to use direct current, which is like terribly inefficient. We would have to step it up every mile. Um, but yeah, you did give me. I knew you're trying to get attention, and you sure did. But we'd have to step up the power every mile with direct current. Tesla introduced alternating current, polyphase AC, which is 98% more efficient than direct current. You don't have to step it up every mile. Um, and anyway, but what did Edison do? He went and got elephants and dogs and electrocuted them with alternating current to smear Tesla's name in the alternating current. Because he was petty and he was sad that his stuff didn't. They didn't want his stuff. He said, so then, oh, I gotta get my cookies. Hang on. I love how I just like all of a sudden sidetracked to my cookies. Look at these cookies. Yummus. Shall I bake some more cookies? I have some more dough, but I mean, you know. I guess I'll do one more batch. So I can forget about them and burn them. It's always the last ones. Okay. Okay. But yeah, no, Edison was doo-doo garbage. Okay. It's a 1917 Hughes electric range. It's from 1917. Do you have an old school cold bedpan heater? No, but I do have a bed warmer. Actually, yeah, I do. So yeah. Old recipes. Ooh. Well, most of the stuff I cook is old. Like pineapple upside down cake was very popular in the 1920s. Hello. Fashion of 19th century clothing detail. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I keep my stuff in cedar closets. Somebody said, "Oh, thank you for the $20." Yes. Are you interested in the Titanic? I used to be really interested in the Titanic. Vacuum robot is fairly new. Okay, but the thing is, the vacuum isn't new. The electric vacuum isn't new. And the robot is wireless technology, kind of, because it has to know that and stuff. Which can be tied into computer stuff, which the computer was technically invented back then, but it was mechanical back then, just like the player piano is mechanical. So really, it's not a new concept, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and they had like the concept of robots back then. And actually, Tesla had a remote control boat back then. In the 1890s. You are like a budget Neil deGrasse Tyson. Ugh. Sorry. Did you see that video that I had of a side by side? He said, wireless electricity is not possible. If you want to send electricity, we use wires because you want to pass electricity through the air. That alone would kill you. And then there's a video of me next to that powering an incandescent light bulb wirelessly. A 240 volt, 11 watt incandescent light bulb wirelessly. Like, he needs to stay in his lane because last time I checked, he's a part of NASA, and NASA does not have any business talking about electrical transmission of energy. They have to do with space. Stay in your lane. Anyway, but yeah. I mean, NASA has nothing to do with that. And the fact that that's not scientific at all. He's saying, I think, therefore it is. No, science is about having a hypothesis and performing the experiment to prove or disprove your hypothesis. And then coming up with the conclusion, did it work or did it not work? Not about saying, I'm with NASA, I know everything. No, this is why we can't have nice things. And then Elon Musk, don't get me started with that. He's basically the Edison of our time because you know darn well he did not invent SpaceX by himself. And then on top of that, he took a direct current battery and made a Tesla and called it Tesla. Bruh, direct current and Tesla? Excuse me? I mean, come on now. Tesla is probably rolling in his grave. Nikola Tesla is rolling in his grave. Because, like, Nikola Tesla, would have had wireless cars that were powered by his magnifying transmitter. He would have, with his magnifying transmitter, struck the earth like a clapper strikes a bell, made the earth ring at an electrical frequency, and you could harness that electricity anywhere on the planet with a receiver coil. It's like a wired radio in a nutshell, because the whole earth is quivering electrically, vibrating at the frequency of that electrical transmission, and it makes the earth ring out like a bell, but electrically, if that's making sense. And you can be anywhere on the planet because the mass of Earth determines this frequency that you need to apply to make it do that. But anyway, with that technology, though, you could have our phones charging wirelessly. All you have to do is walk around and it just charges because it has a built-in tiny receiver coil in it, which is picking up on the Earth's vibration. The electrical, yes, I know what Wardenclyffe is because I've replicated the thing that was at the base of that and sent electricity wirelessly 918.6 miles. Look that up. But yeah, no, I'm aware. I'm aware because I've done it and nobody pays attention. But yeah. And I never claim that it's free energy. I claim that it's wireless. You celebrate Christmas? I do. I don't have a Christmas tree though because I'm bad and I'm like the Grinch. Let me plug in my phone. Can my phone plug in? Dadgummit. And it turned off my light. Okay. I'm back. Why is this crooked? This is getting on my nerves. Okay. Sorry, my evil voice came out. Okay. Somebody says electricity is like light, bro. Okay, let me explain my thing. Electricity is vibrating magnetism that's collapsing and generating at a certain rate, a frequency. Everything in the universe has a frequency because everything is made up of atoms and molecules, protons, neutrons, and electrons. That means positive and negative charges. Thus, everything is electricity. And direct current is weird because it's direct, but that's the only thing that doesn't have a frequency because it travels direct. And it's electricity, so everything must be electricity. Everything else is alternating current, vibrating back and forth. It oscillates. So now you can think of this. Frequency and wavelength tied directly together. Think of the calm, still surface of a swimming pool or a body of water. It's perfectly still. Throw a rock in there. Frequency is vibration over time. Throw a rock in there. The rate of vibration per second when the water hits, or when the rock hits the water, vibration per second, frequency, determines the wavelength, the waves that go out from around where that rock hit the water, the wavelength. The faster you tap the water, the shorter the wavelength because it has less time to generate the waves. The slower or the lower your frequency, the bigger your wavelength. So red light has a very low frequency. Purple light has a very high frequency. Does that make sense? Are y'all with me? So Anyway, now you can think of an opera singer singing and shattering a glass at its resonant frequency. You tap the glass, you hear the frequency of it, you match it with your voice at the right amplitude. Amplitude is the amplitude of the wave, like amplitude modulation radio, AM, or frequency modulation, FM. Anyway, so with that, you match the resonant frequency of the glass and you can shatter it. But the glass can be replaced with the y of an equation, and the opera singer can now be x. So a source of frequency generation being x and an object being y. So now we can take the magnifying transmitter x and the earth or the receiver coils y. And so with X, we generate the frequency that Y wants to ring at. So basically, in a nutshell, it's like a bell and a clapper. You have a clapper hitting a bell, making it ring, but the bell's frequency is determined by its mass. So anyway, imagine striking a bell at its resonant frequency. It might crack like the Liberty Bell. Anyway, but so we have Earth, which has a electrical frequency because it's determined by Earth's mass. So then we can take the magnifying transmitter and hit the Earth just like that bell, that clapper hits that bell, and make the Earth ring out or sing out electrically. And then we can harvest that electricity with little receiver coils. It's like having two tuning forks of the same frequency. You tap this one starts ringing. You tap the Earth, make it ring electrically, the receiver coils start ringing. Y'all with me so far? Did y'all get that, or did I go over your heads? Because some people, it just goes over the heads. But anyway. I do not drink. No. I did not get electrocuted, but I have been shot 294 times. You still have a coil. I am constructing another one and expect to see better results than the first time. Let's see. I have heard of the John Hutchinson and the Hutchinson effect. Yes, it's all just frequency. Everything is frequency. Tesla has a quote that says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, vibration. Vibration over time is frequency, and there has to be energy behind it. Am I AI? No, I am not. What is a Tesla coil? Well, it's really a magnifying transmitter, which is a 3-coil system. The Tesla coil would be, what we call a Tesla coil nowadays is actually the receiver. Let me get these cookies out of the oven. Hang on. Okay, let me turn the oven off. Oh, I gotta get that. Okay. I'll just put this here for the time being. Okay, I finished my cookies. Thank you for that tip. I want to see you get your museum. I know. I'm working on it. But yeah, which is deadlier, voltage or amps? It's a combination of the two. At the right voltage and the right amps, that's what kills you. But really, electricity only kills. It also depends on the frequency of the electricity, because there's this thing called the skin effect, which the higher the frequency of the electricity, the less it wants to stay on the inside of the conductor. So if the conductor be your skin, then it will stay on the outside of the skin at a certain frequency and not enter your body, stopping your heart. That's how electricity kills you. It will stop your heart. Because you become the pathway. So if you touch one wire at a time and nothing else, nothing happens because it can't flow. It can't vibrate back and forth. But then if you are a path, so you're standing on the ground and you touch a wire and it flows through you and it's low frequency and it's high enough voltage at a high enough amperage, it can stop your heart. And then that's how it gets you. Are you really a doctor? No, it is a play on Frankenstein. I thought that would be clear. It's kind of pretty obvious because my name is Parker Edmondson, like Frankenstein, Parkenstein. I even kind of spelled it wrong. Yes, that is why squirrels can run on electric wires, but occasionally they do get electrocuted because they touch two things. Squirrels are stupid. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah, I would love to know how to sign up for grants and stuff for my museum and stuff, but I've never had any luck finding grants or because I can't apply for a loan because I don't have credit. And then I don't have proof of income because my income comes from my content. That's how I get by. My content is my job, my only job. So, anyway, that's the problem. Yes, I do notice the orbs. As I said, my apartment is haunted. I do have an LLC as well. It's Parkenstein LLC. I don't really need I've had a consultant. Mm-mm. I also, at one time, had a manager to try and help with my content. Never again. Never again. Can you do the door again? It does it when it wants to. It hasn't done it since I got back from Kentucky. What's your favorite scary movie? I like The Conjuring. What's the number one thing you want to add to your collection or style that you don't have or own? The house to house my museum, a Victorian house. Yeah, it would be nice, but people aren't like that usually. The ticking noise is this clock over here, and then there's one over there on the wall, and then there's one in my bedroom. What's the oldest thing you own? I have a candle mold from the 1790s. Like a tin candle mold to make tapered candles. Besides the house. I don't know. I would need the house in order to figure that out because I just like when I see the space I'm working with, I can design it better in my head and then make it come to fruition. But yeah. I do notice the orbs in my video. Did you take piano lessons? I did, but I still can't read music. I took for like 1 year and I never would practice. I just like would pick it up by ear. Is car insurance on antique vehicles expensive? I believe it's like $25. Like antique rugs? I do. How could I donate to you? If you leave a comment on one of my videos with your email, or just email me at dr.parkinstine@gmail.com. I visited Louisville, Kentucky, and I went to Waverly Hills Sanitarium. You watch Antiques Roadshow? Is that the one with Mike and that other guy, because Mike from one of the shows follows me on TikTok. Do you have a PO box? I don't. That's why I said send me an email and I'll give you the address you can send stuff to. So if you email me at dr.parkinstine@gmail.com, then I will respond to your email. I'm terrible about checking my emails, but I do occasionally, so bear with me if you email me. You should get your place exercised by a priest. Why? Why? Why should I? My place is not possessed. Places cannot be possessed. People can be possessed, but places cannot be. Now, I could exercise my place and put an elliptical in here. But, okay. That's why I said email me. You have a pet? I have 3. They don't live with me. They're at my dad's house. Do you like cats? I love cats. Cats are my favorite. My cat Spartacus is my absolute favorite. He is a black cat. He's nice. I love cats. I'm a cat person. And like I said, that is off time, and it's still chiming at the same time as that one. Is the wallpaper on your wall fabric? Yes, it is fabric. It is I stapled it up with a power stapler because all the walls used to look, or they used to be that shiplap stuff. Well, originally, because this house is mail ordered from a Sears catalog, it was built in 1915 here on this spot. It's a craftsman house, but when it was built, they had tacked up cloth to the like cotton cloth to the shiplap, and then they pasted onto that wallpaper. And the reason they would do this is so when your house settled, it wouldn't crack the wallpaper design because it could move with the fabric behind it. Anyway. Register with the historical system. So I rent up here. I don't own this house. I guess a lot of people say it smells exactly like an old house in here, like what you would think an old house smells like, or the Victorian era when they walk in. I don't really know what they mean because I'm used to the smell, but that's what they say. How much was this house bought for in the 20s? Well, it was built in 1915, so probably about like $1,000 or a little bit more, maybe $3,000. So this is the second floor of the house. It's not the attic. And I wasn't the first renter up here. So basically my biological grandparents, they live downstairs, but before it was available, other people have rented this through the years. Anyway, so but other people have rented it. And the price is really good. So I mean, anyway, so I rented, and yeah, because when it became available, they were like, "Would you like to rent up?" And I'm like, "Sure." So that's how I came here. Yeah, no, I'm not the first renter. My favorite movie would probably be Modern Times by Charlie Chaplin. Do you have an actual stove, or did you remove it for your vintage? This is my actual stove. Everything you're seeing here is I live here. This is my apartment. Like, everything you see is exactly what I use day to day. I don't know why people, oh my God, I just tripped over that. I don't know why people can't comprehend it. I totally just knocked over my tripod. I'm going to pretend like I didn't. Let me clean my camera again. So, God, this camera. Urgh! This is my apartment. I live here. Oh my gosh. Why will this... You know what? Hang on. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to clean this camera with some cleaner or something. Hang on. Bear with me, y'all. God, I don't even have a paper towel. Where are the paper towels? This is stupid. How am I supposed to do this? Bear with me. Okay. We're good now. Let me pick this up. Okay. So, let's try that again. This is where I live. Everything here. See, there's my air conditioner because people think I can't have air conditioning because it's not period accurate. I'm not Amish. There it is. I have it. Deal with it. Anyway, but no, this is where I live day to day. I cook on that every day that I want to cook. If I'm not cooking, I'm eating out. This is my bedroom. You turn on this light over here. Here's my bedroom. You can see where I slept in my bed. Haven't made up the bed yet. And yes, I have one of those. Here's my bathroom. And I love cats, so I put cats playing with toilet paper because toilet paper belongs in the bathroom, and I love cats. So yes, everything you see is exactly how I live. And then these are closets. There's a closet here. I have a ton of stuff in there. This closet right here, I have a ton of stuff in here. I have a skeleton in here. There's a skeleton in this closet too. There are skeletons in my closet. And then I have, I'll just go ahead and show you in this closet. This is inside this closet. There's a radio right there. There's some books in there. There's a dresser in there. Let me just hit the door. Okay, I built that dollhouse. Now we'll go into here. I'll show you this closet. This is where I keep my coats and stuff and my diathermy machine. Thank you for the $10. And then we have this closet. This is my Fibber McGee closet. There is everything but the kitchen sink in this closet. Closets are for storage, so that's what I use them for. And yeah, that's that. This closet in here, let me get a light bulb because I've been needing to put a light bulb in my closets. Is this the one that I put normal light bulbs in? Okay. Get this one right here. Okay. You screw this light bulb in here. There it is. Okay. So you can see some of the original wallpaper in here from 1915. See, they would tack this cloth there and then paste their wallpaper above the cloth. So that's from 1915. Anyway, there that is. Do you like Buster Keaton? Yes, I do. I also like Charlie Chaplin and Laurel and Hardy. Let me get another light bulb. Hang on. Oh, I don't really want to use this one. I guess we'll use a normal light bulb. Ugh. Need to go buy some more incandescents. You know you can still get incandescent light bulbs at Home Depot. Is this an LED? I hope not. I hate LEDs. They're all garbage. Light emitting diodes. Okay, that's not an LED. Okay. Oh, wait. I guess I could turn that off. You better not fall out of there, skeleton. Okay. Somebody says pick one, magnifying transmitter or 1910s House Museum. I would get both because I would use the magnifying transmitter and get grants and stuff. And then with the leftover money that I don't use after I have succeeded, I will buy my museum house. The reason also, well, no, just kidding. I would say that in reverse. I'd say, is somebody at my door? I would say, no, I'm just hearing things. I'd actually say museum house because with the house, the museum, I can charge admission as a B&B, a bed and breakfast, and a museum, and I would use the profit of that and my content I make remodeling the house to build a magnifying transmitter. So I would say the house instead. So once I got the house and remodeled it, the profit I would make from renting it out as a B&B and doing tours would provide me enough money to build another magnifying transmitter and fund it myself. So I would say the house. Oh wow, we're still getting a lot more comments, and for some reason they freeze the comments. Okay. You have a typewriter? I do. Let me show it to you. It's up here. Let me get my flashlight. Hang on. Where did I put my? Okay, I just had that flashlight. Here it is, right in front of my face. It's up there. It's an Underwood number 3. Anyway. Okay, I need to ask y'all something. What do y'all think if I make a cookbook? Would y'all like me to make a cookbook? Where did you get your sewing machine? I got it at the local antique store for $100. Yes. Y'all say yes. 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 Okay, yeah, because I've had a few people ask me to do so. So I think I'm going to. And I'm thinking about doing like a storyline with the cookbook, kind of like an old Briar Rabbit cookbook. So it'll be about my adventures and stuff, and like where I found the recipes and stuff. So it's not just going to be a cookbook. It'll have stories in it as well. So y'all like that idea? How many of y'all would buy that? Because with those funds of selling that, I can also fund other things. Just to kind of get an idea of how many of y'all would be interested in it. That did not work. Okay, so y'all seem to be interested in the cookbook. How about like $25 a cookbook or something like that? I'll buy an autographed one. Okay. Why is this flashing at me? Okay. Do you have siblings? I do. Somebody said I look like I'm running for office in 1933. Little do they know the Great Depression was then, and they wouldn't be dressed half as nice as this. Learn your history. Somebody said $5. It's going to cost more per book than $5. I've got to be able to make profit on it, so I would have to price it at like $25. Anyway. Okay, somebody said do a cookie taste test. Those are good. Yum. Oh, yeah, I could do $5 for a PDF. I'm eating one of my cookies. Somebody said check them. I'm not even cooking anymore. The oven is still hot, however, because of that asbestos. It's just as hot as it was. It'll be hot for another 3 hours. $25 for the book, and autographed is $40. Okay. I've made ramen noodles before, but I haven't made the real kind. I've only made like the kind that you buy at Walmart. So technically, no, not really. The only reason I did that is because I would take it to lunch at school. Y'all want to hear a funny story from when I went to school? Back when I was in middle school. Okay, I'll tell it to you. So, back when I was in middle school, one time I was eating mac and cheese, and I sneezed and spit it out all over the table because I was eating and I sneezed, and somehow I did that. And so my friends looked at me and they were like, okay, Mac and sneeze. So, anyway, that's kind of a funny story from my time in middle school. I was the awkward kid in middle school. So, and in high school, I was like, if it could happen and it was awkward, it would happen to me. One time I was walking, it's just the universe, I don't know. One time I was walking and I had these shoes I absolutely hated in middle school. They had little hooks, you know, they were like work boots or whatever. They had little hooks. And one time I was walking down the hallway and I managed to make my right shoe hook my left shoelace. And it made me trip. Like, bruh. Anyway. But yeah. So, if it was awkward and it could happen, it would. My stomach just grabbed. But yeah. So, that's that. I know, like, who builds shoes like that? It's so rude. Oh, and one time, I was walking down the hallway in middle school. It was always in middle school. Like, what? Bruh. I was walking down the hallway wearing Converse, just normal Converse, high tops. And my freaking shoelaces tied themselves together while I was walking down the hallway. And I was like, "Ugh," and then I fell forward with all my stuff and dropped it everywhere. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Someone's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Ugh, shoes. Ugh. I know. Like, how does this happen? Like, the universe was out to get me that day. My shoes were stupid. But yeah. Anyway. You enjoying YouTube? Yeah, it's good. Do you own a microwave? I do, but I don't use it. It's in my Fibber McGee closet. It came with the apartment. And technically, it's not mine. It came with the apartment. So technically, no, I don't own a microwave. Where is my microwave? Hang on, let me get the flashlight. I'm going to show you the... I'm going to show you the stove that used to be up here, too. You see this stove right back there? That used to sit right over there when I first got the apartment. I disconnected it and put it there. My microwave is back over there. Pardon this little scythe right here, like the Grim Reaper holds. But my microwave is back there. There is a refrigerator behind all this stuff, and it used to sit right there. There's an accordion right there, a banjo right there. There's a table back under all this stuff. There's a little, like a bedside stand back there. There's a rocking chair in here. It's back there somewhere. There's another typewriter in there. My carbon microphone's right there. There's my little steam engine. I have a radio project right here. It's the insides to that radio, which I'm fixing. I haven't had time right now. What else? Where did that wire come from? Hang on. Oh, okay, that's the antenna. Ooh, scared me. Because I can't find schematics on this radio, so I'm looking for them. And then, of course, you have your standard inductance bridge that everybody has to have, you know. But yeah, no, that is my junk closet. And you can see now why nobody would fit in here to be able to open this door. When I say, are there any spirits here? If so, open this door. Nobody could fit in there because I have too much crap in there. So now you see what I'm saying. Literally, I could make that a craft room, but I have too much crap in there, so now it's a crap room instead of a craft room. You sound like Patrick Mahomes, Dr. Parkinson. Did you know Patrick Mahomes is from East Texas, where I live? So, like I said, it's an East Texas accent. Do you have a Christmas tree? No. I do not. I need to get a real Christmas tree. You want to see something cool? Hang on. I almost got some more milk, but you know what? This is too cool, so I'm going to wait. I have a haunted Labubu. Just kidding. I have these. That is not where I put those. Where the heck did I put them? Here they are. I have these right here. Does anybody know what these are? Okay, I'm in the comments. If you know what these are, you can tell me. See if anybody can guess. What do y'all think these are? They're candle holders, but what do you think they're for? Yep. Yeah, no, that is not what these are. Somebody has a messed up head. They are candle holders for a Christmas tree. Back before electricity, they would put candles on the Christmas trees. And these were the little clips and candle holders they would use. So you would clip these to the tree. But yeah. So that's what those are. Y'all guessed it. I mean, yeah, it is dangerous, but the thing is, you can only light your Christmas tree candles if the tree is fresh and right the day, Christmas Eve. You only light them one time. Of course, you don't want a dry Christmas tree and to light candles with a dry Christmas tree. That would be stupid. And also, you've got to trim the tree so that the fire doesn't burn your tree. You know, like, it's just common sense. You got to have it where it won't burn the tree. See, somebody has real candles on their tree. In Germany, they would run one fuse to light the candles from one match. Ooh. Don't give me any ideas. I could use a detonator plunger. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Why did you have to tell me that? Where'd you get your Model T? Facebook Marketplace. Do you have a soda fountain where you live? Yes. Anyway, I got it on Facebook Marketplace. And which Model T are we talking about? The Model T Touring or the Model T Truck? Because the Model T Touring I bought on Facebook Marketplace, it was $8,300. And then the Model T Truck, why is my phone not charging? The Model T Truck, let me just unplug it again. I have to bend all the way down and get the charger again. Dadgummit. The Model T truck I bought for $6,000 on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, a lot of people assume a lot of things, but you know what they say about assume. I'm not going to say it because I don't curse, but I mean, you see the first three letters and you make one of those out of you and me if you assume. Do you have a degree in anything? I went to one semester of college in 2019 after I graduated, and I failed history, shocker, and music theory, another shocker. Anyway, so that was my first semester. I was gonna go back, but the pandemic happened, and we had to go to online school. And you already see how many squirrels have run across me in this video. Like my ADHD is too bad to go to online school. So I sat down for the first day of online school. Sat down 5 seconds. I was like, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I had to convince myself mentally to stay there. I was like, you know what? Just kidding. And I got up and I never went back. And I went outside and I built the magnifying transmitter and sent wireless electricity to Chicago. So no, I don't have a college degree. I do have a high school diploma. But the thing is, I always teach myself. So what I do, because it's more interesting that way, I don't have to be forced to do something against my will. Like sit in a room full of people and just be like, wah, 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 like the Charlie Brown teacher. I can read books. So Tesla has a quote that says, of all things I like books the best. It's because the books, you can teach yourself how you teach yourself. So if it be an electrical book, you can read it and like see it as the person who wrote it and like how they understood it and see how their brain worked kind of, and then you understand it a lot better. And it's like you can pull from multiple books in your head. And I always like to read multiple books at a time, so more than one book at a time. I like to switch books. If one book starts getting boring, I'll switch. That's how I've always been. But like I just I learned how to read radio schematics. For example, this I remember this. I learned how to read radio schematics out of a book called Henley's 222 Radio Circuit Designs. And it was by this guy named Henley, and it was published in 1924. It was a reprint, and it had a pink cover on the book. But it taught me how to read radio schematics, and I read that when I was like 19 or 18. And then after that, I went down the rabbit hole because my curiosity and stuff. I was like, ooh. And then I started to little by little, as I worked with stuff, understand how like vacuum tube radios and stuff worked and what each part did. And I gathered that electricity can only flow in one direction in these vacuum tube circuits. And the cathode emits the electricity, or they said the filament, which is like the cathode, will boil off electrons, and then you have a grid inside of the vacuum tube, which acts as like a window shutter. The more current you supply to the grid, the more the shutter opens to allow more current through. And then you have the anode or the collector, the plate. It's positively charged, and the electricity flows to that, but only a limited amount can get there depending on how your grid is supplied. And your grid has to be like a negative power supply, and your plate has to be positive. And anyway, but yeah, that's a triode tube that I just described, by the way. I have some tape recorders. I fixed one time, but what the heck? What is a happy poop? Somebody sent happy poop. Okay. Do you like Fallout and Bioshock? I haven't played. I started to play Fallout. I only made it to the Museum of History, and then I haven't played it past there. Do you have a favorite book? Ooh. Uh, I'm working on one. I've been working on this one since high school. I just haven't found the time of day to pick it back up. Called Craven Manor. It's a mystery book. What do you game on? I have a computer right here. It's an Acer. It's a piece of junk, doo-doo garbage. It's really a business laptop, but there it is. Anyway, let's see. But yeah, well, what is your ventriloquist name? It's actually that doll in there is named Billy. It's a collector's edition. Have you ever seen the movie Dead Silence? Because that is the doll from Dead Silence. Somebody sent another happy poop. That's the thing from Dead Silence. Do you run your magnifying transmitter regularly? So I'm actually currently working on building another one. I'm still trying to wait until I get $1,500. That's all I need left on this one. Then I'm going to build a proper platform to put it on. That well I dug, if y'all saw that 15-foot well I dug, and I reached the water table, which is mineral water, which is a great conductor, because the minerals help the water carry the current. So I got down to groundwater, and for the well's lining, I welded together steel drums, which is the perfect ground for the magnifying transmitter. It's a metal. It's basically a giant ground rod that's low impedance. So anyway, with that, I'm going to ground bond the secondary to that, and then I'll build a platform over that that's raised off the ground 2 feet so the ground won't have any influence on it. Then I'll put some porcelain standoff insulators or ceramic standoff insulators 6-inch high. Then I'll start putting the supports on there, and then I'll cut a little strip down the wood supports and put in either like porcelain of some kind or some kind of HDPE, high density polyethylene. And then I'll notch it and put my wires on there, and then I'll start building the magnifying transmitter there. But the platform is what I'm needing to do now, and it's going to cost $1,500. So I'm saving up for that, and then I'm going to go to Home Depot, or I'm going to order it from Home Depot and have them bring all the wood to the house to build it. Do you want to learn how to read music? I don't know. Maybe. I've already taken piano lessons, but I never did. It's because like combining the left hand with the right hand and reading it at the same time and reading all 3 notes for the chords, it's easier for me to do it by ear. I can hear it and then play it. How many cups of coffee do you drink per day? I don't usually drink coffee. I mean, if I do drink coffee, it's in the middle of the day, and I have the Starbucks things that are really good that they sell at gas stations that I forgot what they're called, but they're in the glass bottles. What are your pajamas? They are clothes you wear at night when you go to bed. Just kidding. I have some plaid pajamas. I have that's pretty much. I have plaid pajamas. I have striped pajamas. I have just some plain black pajamas. Yeah. What's your favorite sandwich? I like chicken salad sandwiches. I also like BLTs. What's downstairs in your room? So that actually, this used to be one whole house back in 1915 when it was built. But that door at the bottom of those stairs is sealed from both sides now. My biological grandparents live downstairs. This is their house, and they've sealed the door on purpose so they could rent out this apartment. And I was not the first renter here. But when it became available, they asked me if I would like to rent up here, so I did. But they never put flooring over that staircase. So that is the story on those stairs. I don't drink. I don't know. I haven't ever had either one. I don't drink. And this is actually fabric on the walls that I put up. Do you like Red Dead Redemption 2? I've never played it. Do you ever wear tennis shoes? One time, I had some custom Converse made to look like the 1920s kids Converse. Hello. Were you adopted? I was. Thank you. Thank you for this donation. Yes. Yes. So slavery ended in 1865. My era is 1890 to 1934. Learn your history. And you said it seems like I'm going back. We're in 2025. You're watching me. I don't know why you're watching me if you don't like me, which that's just insane. Sometimes I think we need to open back up insane asylums and just give people electrotherapy and stuff because some people are just what are they? Anyway, why not 1935? I don't know. It's just what I like. I like what I like. I want to. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that. I have a book on how to build insane asylums and stuff. Like they designed the buildings in a specific design to allow for airflow and like expansion and so it's crazy. They had every detail. It was like the west wing should be for the criminally insane. The east wing should be for. It was insane. The bottom floor should be maximum security. It was insane. Oh no, why did we get rid of them? We clearly need them. What's the biggest thing in your life that you would like to accomplish? So I want to get my museum and finish the wireless stuff. But all in all, it's to help humanity because that should technically be everyone's goal. But a lot of people get distracted by money. They're like, oh, let me get all this money. Let me be in it for the fame and the money. But they don't realize the whole purpose of money is to buy something that you want to show somebody. You know what I mean? Like, thank you. The whole purpose of money is like to buy the thing that you want to show humanity. Or, I, because whatever you get with money, you're getting it to either show other people or help other people in some way. Like if you were alone and you had all the money in the world, it wouldn't make sense, you see. That's why people come in because it's about humanity, but money kind of muddies that because like money is a distraction from that. It's not money at all, it's humanity because you could have all the money in the world, but nobody to share it with, and then like what's the point of any of your money? It can't get you anything. You can't show it the stuff you get to anyone. So then again, you reel it back and it's all about humanity. See, that's what, when you look ahead at stuff and you plan ahead, that's what you realize. Because you have to look in the past and the future. I mean, and then you're like, oh, okay. So you have to be like 15 steps ahead and you realize that. So anyway, that is and technically money is printed by the Federal Reserve and our government taxes us. So our government must see value in money. Um and then we have politics in the news and all that, which I don't ever involve myself in because I see the big picture. It's a huge distraction to keep us occupied and distracted so that we can be easily manipulated and controlled. But the fact is, if the Federal Reserve quit printing money like the penny, or they just all in all quit printing money and money lost its value, then what? Then the government's powerless and yeah, it's just not good. So the government is a puppet show, and the news is a distraction because people who live in fear and who turn against each other are easier to manipulate and control. I see the big picture. So, anyway, yeah. Let's see. What's a fact of your era in history that shocked? I love it you say your era, but in history that shocked you the most to learn. Hmm. I don't know. I guess the planned obsolescence aspect of it. I'm not really technically trying. I'm in 2025, just the same as you, but I just have my own style. It's just my thing. Like I like this. You have what you like. Everybody has their own style that they like. This is my style that I like. And it just I don't know. It floats my boat. Whatever floats your boat. What city would you visit in 1905? Well, if I had to stay there a year, definitely not San Francisco. When did your love of old things start? If you watch my video I posted yesterday, you'll see a video or you'll see a picture of me at 6 years old wearing a top hat. I've always, for as long as I can remember, been fascinated with it. Like it never really started as I could comprehend. It was already there. Thank you. What is your biggest fear? I don't know. Um, I don't know. Hmm. It's gonna be a Victorian museum, so whenever the house was built is when it'll be. But like I'll have eras mixed throughout, just like I do at my apartment. Nothing in here is from one solid year. Well, I mean it is, but like everything in here does not is not from the exact same year. I have stuff from the 20s, the 30s, the 1890s, 1860s, all mixed in here. It's a mix of different eras. But yeah. What is dating like for Parker? I am single. Did you make... I could not even read it. Do you make the filaments for your bulbs? Not these bulbs, no. When you buy that stuff, how often do you need to fix them up yourself? It depends. That fridge needed minimal work. It just needed a new thermostat and a door handle. That was it. The stove, I recoiled the burners and that's it. Oh, and I painted it because it was all rusty. I also painted that fridge. That fridge was a rust bucket. The diamond displayer already worked. The phonograph in there already worked. What else? The clock right there, it already worked. That one worked. The pump organ right there worked, but I put a new gasket on it to make it work better. But really, like, it usually just works. It's still working. Also, a lot of people think that my electric bill is high. It's not at all. Oh, you've got to remember back 100 years ago when electricity was first being introduced into houses, the grid could not handle what it can handle now. So things had to be really efficient and like use minimal electricity. This range right here, the oven burner uses a maximum of 1,500 watts, which is like a space heater. Equivalent of a modern dish space heater. That's the oven coil. The burner, the hottest burner over here is 1,500 watt as well, and then the other ones have two of them have a maximum of 1,200 watts. All in all, this thing runs on a 40 amp breaker, and I can have every burner on it, and it still pulls less than 40 amps. A modern stove, a modern oven alone has to be run on a 50 amp breaker for just the oven. And then the modern like stoves, the separate oven and stoves, the stove itself would have to also be on a 50 amp breaker in a modern stove. This is a range. It's an oven and stove top combination. That's what range means. The fridge right there pulls about 0.4 kilowatts per day to work for the whole day. With rough math, which is probably terribly inaccurate, it's about $18.98 a year to run. So again, the stuff is very efficient. And like that's pretty much the only electrical things I have in here besides light bulbs. Everything else is mechanical. Like the record player over there, you have to crank a spring up in it. The phonograph over there, you crank a spring up in. The disc graphophone over there in the center of the parlor, you have to crank a spring in. The vacuum is electric, but I mean, that's like just a motor and that's it. Trying to think of other electric stuff I have. I have an electric space heater in my bathroom, but I don't have it on right now. And that's it. That's like the 3 electrical things that I have that pull the most electricity. So, yeah, besides these light bulbs, that's it. What is your favorite genre of music and movies? I like jazz. I like ragtime. I like jazz and ragtime. Um, from the 20s. I love 1920s jazz. The golden age of jazz, the jazz age. The roaring 20s. Anyway. So yeah, I'm a man. Like, what is what? How can you not tell, bruh? Um, what is your favorite old dance? The Charleston. Please tell me about your phonograph. Okay, I'll show you. Let's go to my phonograph. Ow! I ran into a lamp. So actually, I recorded this cylinder the other day. This is in no means the best cylinder.
I'm wearing my hard way for you, recorded by Dr.p style.
So this is me. Oops. That's a rough recording. That really doesn't sound like CD quality. Anyway, that's me. Let me take this off. That's not an example at all of how good this thing can sound. This cylinder is from 1919. Let me go ahead and put this on here. So this is by Gladys Rice and somebody else. I forget who. But or no, is this by Gladys Rice? Hang on. It is Helen Clark. Helen Clark and okay, Helen Clark sings this. So let's straighten this up in here. Okay. Now we will play this cylinder from 1919. And it's a 4-minute cylinder, so we got to switch the machine to play 4 minutes. Okay. So this is from 1919.
I'm dreaming dreams, I'm scheming schemes, I'm building castles high. They're born anew, their days are few, just like a sweet butterfly. And as the daylight is dawning, they come again in the morning. I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high, nearly reach the sky. Then, like my dreams, they fade and die. Fortune's always hiding.
Hi.
I've looked everywhere.
Bruh.
I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. When the shadows creep, when I'm asleep, to lands of hope I stray. Then at daybreak, when you awake, your bluebird flutters away. Happiness, you seem so near me. Happiness, come more than cheer me. I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high, nearly reach the sky. Then, like my dreams, they fade and die.
Hi. So I've always liked stuff from the early 1900s for as long as I can remember.
I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the Fortune's always hiding. I've looked everywhere.
Somebody said, loser. Joke's on you.
Pretty bubbles in the air.
That was it. Okay, and that cylinder was from 1919. But yeah. So that's that. Y'all want me to play this record again? This one's from 1925. It was recorded March 20th of 1925. Let me know if y'all want to hear this. Yes, there are spirits in my home. Surprised that door hasn't opened. Okay, we're going to play this. This is from March 20th of 1925. The machine that I'm playing it on is from 1918. do. I know how to fix it all. Somebody wants me to show the fridge. So with this apparatus, it will actually stop itself. Let me skip it closer to the end and set it down about right here. So if you'll watch, there's a mechanical brake on this thing. This will actuate this brake and make it stop automatically. Just give it a few more seconds and it will. Okay, it's getting there. Now watch right there. And any day now. Any day now. Okay, here it goes. Get ready. There it went. So it will stop itself automatically. But yeah, so somebody wants to know what my doctorate is in. As I have said, I do not have a doctorate degree. It is a play on Frankenstein. Dr. Parkenstein, Dr. Frankenstein. Now you want to know my job. So as I have said about 342,175 times, my content is my job. That's what pays me. And what is a doctrine? It sounds like a type of fruit. I suggest you make a dollhouse. A doll like, oh. So one of my fans made me this. They crocheted it for me. But yeah. Anyway, well, I better go because I've got to make my video for today and get it posted by 8 o'clock. So I guess I'll see y'all again at 8 o'clock when I post my video. And I'm going to try to go live once a week, usually on Saturdays. I'm going to try for Saturdays. But yeah, let me know if I should go live once a week. Would y'all like me? Ooh, hiccup. Would y'all like me to do that? Oh. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. I will go live. I will do it. Okay. Yes. Well, I will let y'all go for now, and I will be seeing y'all in my video at 8 o'clock or around 8 o'clock. I'm going to shoot for 8 o'clock. Might be later. Who knows? Anyway, bye.